Monday, February 23rd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A lot to talk about, including a pretty good opportunity for some accumulating snow in parts of the region as this week unfolds. Now, a little bit of an issue with the way I normally show you some of the information from our computer graphics system, so I'm just going to take you through basically the high resolution modeling today, but plenty to talk about, so stick with me. There's a snapshot of the radar imagery during the 5 o'clock hour this morning. This morning there's a lot, as I'm cutting this video at least, a lot of drizzle, kind of heavy drizzle and mist across the Piedmont zone, some fog too, and colder weather beginning to work in. So you have some snow that's breaking out in the mountains. There's been some snow over here in southeastern Tennessee and the western North Carolina mountains too. So as we get that colder air, sorry about the interruption there, as we get that colder air rushing on in here this morning up in the I-40 corridor to the Virginia border, could be some sleet pellets or some snowflakes briefly mixing in, but that's not going to be a big deal this morning. Let me show you temperatures, and I know this is probably tough to see, but you have a lot of 40s across North Carolina until you get down into the southeastern parts of the state, down into South Carolina, and it's some 50s, but see, Tennessee is turning much colder, North Mississippi, North Alabama much colder, and then it is brutally cold once again in much of the northern plains, the Great Lakes, the Northeast, and that colder weather set to return to our region. So let me kind of step you through the next few days. There's a lot to talk about. First of all, there'll be another little opportunity. This is this morning on the regional Canadian model, so you see that light precipitation. Another little opportunity tomorrow to see some snow flurries in parts of the region very briefly. It just does not look like you're going to be able to get any overly significant precipitation in here. This is what this is this morning actually on the 4-kilometer NAM. Again, you can see maybe a few sleet pellets or snowflakes mixing in. Not a terribly big deal. There's the 0Z GFS representation for today. And again, this is light stuff, so I just don't think that's going to be anything terribly significant. And then there we are this evening and getting into tomorrow morning. Again, wouldn't be shocked to see some snow flurries. But really, I think the big thing to talk about here is Wednesday night. So let me step you through some of the modeling here. Now, the Canadian, it is suppressed to the south. This is valid Thursday morning. The GFS has been pretty far suppressed to the south as well. But here's the key feature. Now, this is from the European model. And I think the European model and now the NAM computer model, the UK Met model, I think they're onto the right idea here. You have this disturbance, which might actually trend stronger on subsequent model runs as the modeling gets a better look at this. That's going to hold together intact and bring a pretty good precipitation event to the Tennessee Valley and the Carolinas. Okay, so let me compare that chart with you to let's see, this will be, I believe, the GFS at the same time period. And you know, this is a lot more strung out, a lot less consolidated. That was the 0Z run of the GFS. And so, you know, you get a little bit of a different result in the precipitation fields. So this is what the GFS looked like with the 0Z run today. And I'll show you the 6Z here in just a moment. Low pressure in good position if you're looking for Carolina snow. But again, it stays pretty far suppressed to the south on the 0Z run, so you do get some very light snow in North Georgia and southern parts of North Carolina, and then the decent snows on the 0Z run of the GFS are in far eastern and southeastern sections of North Carolina before that system then departs. And so there's your footprint of pretty decent snow from the 0Z run there across southeastern parts of the state. Now, in contrast to that, due to copyright issues, I can't show you the high-resolution European modeling, but I believe I stuck the other type of chart here. Hang on just a second. Now, here we go, switching sources there. All right, so this is the European solution. Low pressure tucked up under the Florida Panhandle. This is Wednesday evening, and then here comes the snow lifting up into the region. And then that continues to head on out to sea. And so on the European, you wind up with a pretty good little snow event in this corridor right there. Looks pretty good for some snow. And I'll show you the HPC or the WPC charts on that here in just a moment. Now, the latest run of the GFS model has come a little bit further north. This is overnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning, a little bit closer here to the European solution and the UK Met solution. So, you know, I think the GFS is coming around. That's valid daybreak Thursday. So the GFS is coming around to that idea. There's your footprint of snow on the latest run of the GFS. All right, so some other charts to show you. The NAM, it's on board with this scenario with its latest run. All right, so here we go on the NAM computer model, Wednesday evening, and then overnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning. There goes your northernmost South Carolina and North Carolina winter weather event in the form of snow. So there's your footprint of snow from the European, the NAM model. Also notice the NAM really hammers parts of North Mississippi and Alabama with some snow. And that's certainly a valid idea if that's correct. The NavGem computer model, which actually in many respects has had a pretty respectable winter, it also is less suppressed than what you see on the previous run of the GFS and the Canadian model. So it's looking pretty good. I feel actually relatively confident that there'll be some accumulating snow across the region here, mainly North Carolina into upper South Carolina. This is what the WPC is looking like. This is their probability of at least 2 inches of snow. And those are high probabilities from North Mississippi up into parts of the Carolinas. These are the probabilities of 4 inches of snow. Again, pretty high from North Georgia into really the I-85 corridor, thereabouts of North Carolina. And there's your probabilities of actually 6 inches. And you're looking at on the WPC charts, what is that, 30 to and a few spots of 40% chances there. One last thing to show you, not something I typically show on the video, but these are the SREF, the short range ensemble forecast plumes, and what I kind of want to show you is the mean of the short range ensembles for precipitation totals. For Charlotte, it's at 0.58 inches of liquid equivalent. Greensboro 0.39, Raleigh is 0.60, and those plume totals have been coming up in general over the past 24 hours as this system comes into view. So I feel pretty good that what you're seeing here on the WPC graphics are going to be pretty accurate. So I think you're looking at a pretty good opportunity for accumulating snow this week in this corridor right here, primarily focused around Wednesday night. And we'll continue to refine amounts. Kind of depends on how intact this piece of energy stays as it rolls on in. But it looks like maybe a decent snow event as we get into, especially focus around Wednesday night here in portions of the Carolinas. All right, that is it for today's edition of the video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.